Om Shanti. Let's stabilize ourselves for a few moments in the self-respect of who I am is an Master Almighty Power Soul. With this self-respect, we connect with Shiv Baba and then listen to today's Murli together with Baba showering on us as the one who is a powerhouse, giving us all the treasures. As we all were listening to this song, so is today's Murli, which gives us an answer on the circumstances and the situations when we feel we are incapable, and then we look upon to the Almighty Father to support us. And that's where the Father says that I have already given you all my treasures. And he reminds us with all our self-respect and the powers that he has bestowed upon us. Further in today's Murli, he gives us a method as to how to do intense effort through only one word, that is determined promise. So let's read today's Murli together and discover for ourselves as to what Baba has to say. Today's Murli is dated 23rd of June 1973. Title of the Murli is Masters of the Alokik Treasures. Baba starts today's Murli with an inquiry question. He says, do you consider yourselves to be both lighthouses and might houses? According to the present stage, through which form can all of you carry out the task of bringing about world benefit? Do you know that form? At present, there is a need for being the form of a might house. As the children of the Almighty Authority, do you experience having become might houses? Do you consider yourselves to be filled with all powers? Not just some powers, but all powers? This is because there is the praise that no power is lacking in the treasure store of Brahmins. Those who are full of all powers, there cannot be any power lacking in their treasure stores. It is sung of the deities. Let's see what is sung of the deities. Nothing is lacking in the treasure store of deities. In the same way, it is said that no power is lacking in the treasure store of Brahmins because they are master almighty authorities. Let's underline this statement because the whole Murli is based on this. It is said that no power is lacking in the treasure store of Brahmins because they are master almighty authorities. The Father's name is the all-powerful one, the almighty authority. That is, you are the children of the master of the treasure store of all powers. So, can the children who are the masters of all the Father's powers have anything lacking? Just take a moment and reflect on this. Can the children who are the masters of all the Father's powers have anything lacking? They are the children and so the masters. Even in alokik family, once the child takes birth in a father's house, all father's property becomes his property from day one. So Baba is telling here, the children who are the child of the Father, the Supreme Father, are the masters of these treasures. Is there anyone here who does not consider himself to be a child and so a master? All of you sitting here are masters, are you not? You are the masters of the treasure store of all powers, are you not? Can those who are the masters of the treasure store ever have the thought that they do not have the power to tolerate? Now, Baba is putting us into inquiry questions regarding all the powers that Baba has bestowed upon him, and is asking us to check on them. Or that they do not have the power to recognize Maya, or that they do not have the power to look after the treasures of knowledge, or that they do not have the power to merge their thoughts, or that they do not have the power to churn and remember the treasures. No matter how much your intellects may expand in any task, do you not have the power to merge that expansion in a second? Can those who are such masters speak such words or have such thoughts? Let's look at what thoughts Baba is talking further. What would you call them if they did? Could you call their stage at that time the stage of a master? A master is always a master. Can someone who is a master one moment and a beggar the next be called a master, Almighty Authority? From being a master, why do you become a royal beggar again and again? When a child comes to the father and asks, Baba, help me, give me power, give me your support, what would you call that? Would you not call that as a royal beggar? These are the sanskars of devotion, the sanskars of the 63 births from the Dwapar Yuga of asking for help from the Father. Just as you used to say in front of the images of the deities, what you used to say in Bhakti Marg, you are full of all virtues and I am without virtue. In the same way, a master almighty authority comes and says to the Father, Baba, you are the ocean of all the powers, but I do not have that power. I am weak. I'm defeated by Maya. I'm not able to control my wasteful thoughts. I am afraid of obstacles from Maya. So, are these not the same sanskars of devotion? You have already been told to know the Father as He is and what He is. However, due to your devotional feelings, you consider the Father to be omnipresent, sarvavyapi. That's what we say in Hindi. However, we have got the introduction of Father while we all did our Raj Yoga. Baba says, you've been told to remember me as who I am, and yet you still have the devotional feelings. This is also said to be an insult to the Father. Just take a moment to deep dive in this statement of Baba. This is also said to be an insult to the Father. Here Baba is mentioning about when we say that Father is omnipresent, he says it is an insult to the Father. Is it not? You use the strongest form of insult. In the same way, if someone who is stable in his elevated stage of self-respect, of a master almighty authority, a master ocean of knowledge, love, and bliss, said that he does not have a little power, would you call him a master ocean? If he calls himself a master ocean of knowledge and bliss, and then says this, is he not insulting himself? Baba is making us present here to the concept of self-esteem and self-respect towards our own self. Further, he says, is it not a sign of a self-respect to insult the self? To speak such words or have these thoughts is like insulting oneself and insulting the Father. How? Let's read further. Firstly, the Father is the bestower, and he himself gives without being told. He does not give just because someone tells him to. Therefore, to make the bestower like a human being, is this not insulting him? Who is it that only does something when told to? Human beings. Baba says it's human beings who does things only when they're told to do. Secondly, you become those who remind the Father what does this prove? Has the Father forgotten his duty? Is this why you remind the Father? What do you remind the Father? Baba, you are my helper and therefore help me. What would you call this? It is remembered that Brahmin means to be an embodiment of all attainment. How can someone who is an embodiment of all attainment lack anything? This is why it is said that the stage of Brahmins is a powerhouse. Now, do you understand the language of being beyond, that is, being a powerhouse? These are not the words of a powerhouse. The time for announcing the final result is now coming close. If at this time of the final result, someone is still continuing to study the first lesson, and he is not strong in that either, then what would the result be? This is why Bab Dada is still telling you ahead of time that anyone who wishes to take a high jump or claim a number ahead, then the next 6 months, that is, this year, is now your chance to stabilize yourself in whatever stage you want. In order to make yourself complete in this way, in just a little time, making ordinary efforts will not do. So let's see what Baba wants or what he's guiding us with regards to our efforts. You now have to make intense effort. That is, you have to practice making all three. What are these three things? Your thoughts, words, and deeds the same. This is known as being an intense effort maker. For instance, your intellects understand that you are the children of the bestower, but there is a difference in your words and your deeds. In your thoughts, you think that you are the Brahmins who are the most elevated of all souls, but there is a difference in your words and deeds. You think that you are world benefactors, but there is a difference in your words and deeds. When all three are the same, it is known as intense effort, that is, in being equal to the Father. So, are you giving yourself time to make yourself equal to the Father? Will all the elephant riders, the cavalry, and the infantry, that is, the people of the spiritual army, be revealed after 6 months? Until you have revealed yourselves to one another, how can you be revealed to the world? And if you are not revealed to the world, how would glorification take place? So, in order to reveal the self and the Father, and in order to bring about the glorification of the Father, what is the last effort, that is, last and so fast effort that still remains to be made? This is the highlight of today's Murli, where Baba says and gives us a method to be the last and so fast effort maker. What is the fast effort? This fast effort, which is the last effort. Do you know what it is? What effort comes in front of you? What is the method of making fast effort through which you will become equal to the Father? Through which you will attain this success? You cannot attain success without using the right method. You have been told this many times. It is just one word. The method of last and so fast is just one word. That one word is a promise. A promise to make a promise in any one aspect. It is just one word. The method of last and so fast is just one word, a promise. To make a promise in any one aspect that you must not do this or that you now have to do this. The method of a promise is that last is fast. To make a promise means you have a thought and you become the form of that. स्मृति में आया और उसके स्वरूप बने. It takes a second to make a promise. So now the fast effort should be of 1 second only, because you were told that the result of the last paper is to be announced. How much time will you be given for the last paper? A second. The time of the last paper is fixed, and the paper is also fixed. You have been told about the paper. What is the paper? To be a conqueror of attachment and an embodiment of remembrance. Nashto moha smriti swarup. Smriti labdha. Nashto moha smriti labdha. That's what we say, to what Baba is telling here. He says to be a conqueror of attachment and an embodiment of remembrance. You will be given an order to become a conqueror of attachment in a second. So, if you do not become a conqueror of attachment and an embodiment of remembrance in a second, if you lose that time in making yourself an embodiment or in battling, if you lose time in stabilizing your intellect, what would happen? You would fail. You will only receive the time of 1 second. You are listening to this for the first time. You are listening to the paper for the first time too. Therefore, how many of you should pass? With the method of fast effort of making a promise, reveal yourselves, reveal the Father. That is, with the promise, bring about the glorification. Is this difficult? Courage and enthusiasm, intoxication, and the goal. If you constantly keep these with you, then just as you have in many cycles, in that case, nothing is difficult. Simply keep the 4 main subjects in front of you for the next 6 months and check yourselves as to whether you have pass marks in all of them. Here, you should at least receive pass marks. However, special souls should keep the aim of claiming full marks. If you have good marks in 1 or 2 subjects and less marks in 1 or 2 subjects, do not think that you would pass. What happens if someone fails even in 1 subject? Baba is reminding us about what happens even in the Lokik world. If we fail in 1 subject, what happens? We waste that 1 year to prepare for the same subject to be appeared in the next year. Those who have to take the paper a second time will have made that 1 year go in waste, will they not? That is, they will have missed out on being part of the Sun dynasty. So Baba is taking the analogy of the Lokik world examination papers, and then he's bringing us present to what will happen if we miss out on this 1 second paper. What is going to be the consequences? He says they will have missed out on being the part of the Sun dynasty. You will then miss out on the first fortune of the Sun dynasty kingdom and the reward of the first form of the nature of being an embodiment of all attainments. Will you not? Yes, whilst on the path of ascending, if you claim full marks at the end, you would then receive some elevated rewards in the Silver Age. Therefore, do not even think this. The first effort is to pass fully in all four subjects, that is, to claim full marks. The second effort is to claim pass marks in all subjects. However, you must not even make the third effort because you must not even think about it. Baba is still giving you time. Make yourself complete in all subjects. Do you understand? And then further, he speaks about three groups with regards to how the results will show up. Three groups have to be announced now. The ever ready group, the ready group, and the third number group is the lazy group. You have to transform yourselves in these 6 months and bring yourselves into the first group, which is the ever ready group. The moment you receive an order, you do it. You must not be lazy in accepting an order. You yourself will have a vision of yourself in the mirror and will see which group you belong to. Just as a cycle ago, a Brahma Kumar, Narad, had a vision of himself in a mirror in the same way. You will have a vision of yourself in the mirror of knowledge, and you will see which group you belong to and which grade you will come into. Here, Baba is mentioning about a mythological story where Narad wanted to marry goddess Lakshmi, and he also went for what we called as Swayamvar for the same. And in the way, when he was encountering or seeing the mirrors in the way, he saw himself and he saw his picture as a monkey because he used to say Narayan, Narayan, but being whether he was an embodiment of who Narayan is, he could reflect and see for himself. And that's what Baba is mentioning, that each one of us will be able to see for ourselves in which group we belong to. The grades would be according to the groups, would they not? Acha, the blessings for today to those who constantly maintain the stage of having good wishes for the self and the world, to those who constantly maintain the stage of having good wishes for the self and the world, to those who make their every second and every thought elevated, to those who constantly maintain the awareness of their treasures, to those who are constantly overflowing with the nourishment of happiness, to those who give strength to all weak souls, to those who are able to transform the tamoguni nature and sanskars of all souls, to those who are constantly detached observers and companions to such multi-million times fortunate souls who are the few out of millions and the handful from the few, Bab Dada's love, remembrance, and namaste. And from us children, love, remembrance, and namaste to Bab Dada. Om Shanti. Let's take few moments to reflect on various points of today's Murli, and then we will come back to share our takeaways. You can unmute and share our takeaways from today's Murli.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, Bhartiben.
Today Baba said that you need to be full of might, since you are you need to become double light, that is a lighthouse and might house. And also, being a master almighty authority, you cannot be a royal beggar asking for Baba's help for each situation, but instead now you have to be a giver. You have to be a powerhouse that gives power to everyone. So we have to be in that stage. You need to, we should not be taking time to get into an elevated state, because by that time we will lose our service, and people who are crying for help won't be able to get that help. So now we have to be intense effort makers and increase our speed. Om Shanti.
Yes, sister. And Baba has given a method to increase our speed. In a very unique way, he has given the method to increase our speed. Like while I was reading this Murli yesterday, I was reflecting, for me, it was newly understanding what it means to be an intense effort maker, because this is the first time I could hear Baba giving this and method to be an intense effort maker has been last so fast. Would anybody like to reflect and share us what Baba wants to, or Baba is giving us a method on this? What is the method Baba is talking about today?
Om Shanti, sister. Yes, when I was thinking about that same reflection, because this reflection I also got yesterday in the Sunday Murli, where Baba speaks about how do I increase the accumulation and speed of all my treasures. There also he gives the word about thought, word, and action, that in order to become an intense effort maker, it's all the three, equally all the three in my thoughts, where I should not think waste, in my words, not speak waste, but powerful and essential, and action. Here also Baba is saying, if suppose you want to increase your speed, it is these three places, that is from my sankalp. And for that, I have to make a promise. And promise is a thought. And then I become, and all this takes place in a second. I think this is what should be practiced in my thought first, and I become, and everything is in a second. And for this again, why I need all this, as I always give that particular synonym ERNCA, it will help me to face my last paper, Embodiment of Remembrance and Conquer of Attachment. Om Shanti.
Yes, Girijam, and Baba gives today that one word method that is promise, and that's so intense. He says it's not just speaking tall about I will do this or I will do that. Just say it and do it. Just become. That's the underlying effort to be last so fast, intense effort maker. Very rightly put across.
Om Shanti, sister.
Om
So in
Shanti.
this Murli, Papa says, Papa asks us how much time will be given for the last paper. And it'll be just 1 second. And to pass, only 2 things, Papa says, become a conqueror of attachment and an embodiment of remembrance. These 2 things will take us to, pass. So to get to this stage, I think a lot of practice is required. As we know, we check ourselves. I'm saying about me. Throughout the day, there are so much of time where Baba's remembrance is slipped out of knowingly or unknowingly, basically. Sometimes. So it's checking and practice. So it requires attention and practice. I guess because in one of the class, Jagdish Pai, so he was asked by a interviewer that the Rajyoga, it's a very big ocean. So if you have to conclude all this Rajyoga, this whole big topic into 2 words, so how would you, what would be those 2 words? And then Jagdish Pai said that, it's just attention and practice. When these 2 comes in our natural nature, then it becomes easy, everything becomes easy. Om Shanti.
Yes.
One more thing which touched my heart, sister, is remember in all, everywhere, the whole knowledge, Baba says, what are the 2 things which really is insulting the Father? We know what is that? His name being missed in the Gita, Krishna being substituted, and then he being called omnipresent. But over here today, Baba is saying, Father is the bestower. And he just gives you, he doesn't even think. He doesn't even think whether he's giving beyond that. If he thinks, that means he's a human being. So then how can you, it's like insulting the Father. It's like telling everyone he's a human being. He forgot his duty. So that's one more insult I'm already adding to the 2 fundamental insults which Baba is every day speaking on the Murli. So that kept me to say, how can I treat my Father, the bestower, who's not a human being, who doesn't think and give, but just gives devta, his hand is always not. I think that one new point of, it's not only insulting yourself, how you're insulting the Father, then who will listen to you? Then how will glorification take place? I think that one point also hit me in my belt.
Yes, sister, that's another reflection. And further on, Baba says that you are insulting me, and in turn, you're insulting yourselves as well, because you are coming out of your seat of self-respect of who you are, is the child of the bestower. And he very well brings across this point today in today's Murli by mentioning that if you are, when you are the child of the Father, who has given you all of his treasures, his powers, his virtues, his values, the knowledge, and you are full of all of that, and you still have this sanskar of royal begging, you're insulting your own self as well. So, very deep point of reflection for me to practice for the day to day as to what are the areas where there is still this sanskar being left in me, and by that, how is my self-esteem and self-respect impacted, and in turn I'm insulting, I've been a child of the father. So he's brought these 2 points so deeply today, that start respecting yourself, have a very high level of self-respect and esteem that who you are is a child of the father. You are just koto me koi and koi me koi, which is also used in the blessings today. He's given us the blessings there. It's such a deep intoxication that's put in. And that's the practice for me for the day. Thank you for bringing that up, Grijaben.
Om Shanti. Baba also gave us a direction of maintaining a balance between all the four subjects, and thinking about all these things, that how I had heard a class yesterday, that in the Dadi's class, that there are three things that you have to always maintain in your life. That is, you need to have the zeal and enthusiasm, you need to have the courage. So by listening to that class, I think that Baba is helping us, that yes, if do not get discouraged by the obstacles that come in front of you, but again start from the zero. And even today I am also facing through, as I'm feeling that through my sankalp only, that I am facing so many obstacles. So even I am trying to get myself into that elevated state. So the only thing that has helped me in this and becoming normal is to become a part of Sanghatan. This is my personal experience, that the more we are in Sanghatan, the more easy it is to find a new way of of elevating your Purusharth. Om Shanti.
Yes, sister. Thank you for sharing that. That each soul that we meet in, and we see each other and learn. So caring and sharing happens when we are in Sangathan.
One more reflection, sister. I like the way Baba, is a mathematician sometimes. He is not just Trinity, that 3. Everywhere he uses this magical figure 3. Like he spoke about thoughts, word, actions. Like yesterday, I remember, you want to accumulate your treasures, you want to increase your speed, then remember 3 things: inheritance, study, blessing. And again, in that 3 is the 3 relationships: father, teacher, Sadguru. So even today, he mentions about 4 subjects. But the way he is given about this 4, he's talking about the 4 things: the courage which we need, the enthusiasm which we need, the intoxication which we need, and goal. So, these kind of mathematical concepts, when introduced, it just strikes your mind. If you're, you like numbers, and then you like to put that, and then you go, suppose you forget even a number, you just like to go to your notes and check out, oh, what's that number I missed? I like that. And again, he speaks about 3 groups. So as a teacher, I know he's saying, okay, pass fully. Okay, if you can't pass fully, at least pass marks. Please don't talk about the 3rd group, he's saying. So I like this magical figure of 3. Even in Lokik, we have distinction, first class, or the 3rd group wouldn't like to say. So I love this mathematical concept sometimes, which Baba speaks in his Murlis.
Yeah, I agree with you, sister. Mathematical concepts, and it makes it so easy for one to remember. Okay, there are these 3 points, there are these 4 points. We may not remember the whole thing, but once we remember, okay, there are 3 points Baba is talking about, the reflection becomes so easy. And today is the first time a new reflection Baba is bringing across on these 4 subjects. for me in existence was always Gyan, Yog, Dharna, and Seva. But today Baba is giving the whole four subjects a different swaroop, as you just mentioned about all the four subjects.
Om Shanti. One more thing that I was thinking about is this. The Father is Almighty Authority, and children are Master Almighty Authorities. But still, it is something we all know that we are children of Baba, and we also know that Father is the Almighty Authority, has all the powers. But yet, we become number one taking that power. Why? One thing that I can think of is we become number one taking power from Baba because the faith that we have in what Baba says, or we create thoughts inside that do I have so much power to take power, all that Baba is saying? Or we create subtle thought inside us that is it Baba, is it me or someone else in the Brahmin family that Baba is referring to? So, anybody have any other reflection why we become number one, or why we are not able to take all the powers, though Baba is giving it constantly, but just that it has to be us who will be taking it from Baba. Baba is constantly giving, but while taking, we become number one. That's where we are put into this whole problem where we say, I am weak, I am defeated by Maya, I am not able to control my wasteful thoughts, I am afraid, obstacles, don't send Maya, all that devotion sanskar.
Yes, brother. One reflection, I will not say reflection, I'm getting present to what Balabhai was sharing in his class on 7th of May with us, where what is number wise, number var for one to look at. And he put across a reflection, which was very newly present for me that day, that each soul has their own capacity and they're unique in nature. So there's one way of reflection is, are we talking about number as 1, 2, 3, 4, or are we talking about each soul being unique in its own inner sanskars, and it takes its own way to connect and move forward. And Baba is looking at each soul differently with their uniqueness and filling up them accordingly. And therefore, even in the Yajna, we will see that few souls are very good in doing seva through speaking, and few are very good doing seva behind the curtain. This was just one reflection. Of course, there are deeper points to be looked at on this. That was one thing which I was getting while you were sharing as to what it means to be number var or number wise. Any other reflections from anyone else is welcome.
Yes, sister. Thank you, brother, because I wanted to ask this question, but in a different way to Raki Ben. You know why I don't take all the powers? I believe in that corporeal principle. If my father is sitting on the chair of authority and I'm his son, I don't want to grab everything from him because I want him to still remain in the chair. I want him, everyone else to be called as all powerful. I don't want to be master of him. I always used to have that kind of feeling. I know Baba is a ocean. If he gives, he's not going to become empty. But I still have that feeling that he is my father and I am his child. I would love to maintain, I would love to look up to him. I know Baba says, become equal, come with me. But for me, I would like to look up to him. So I think that is my quality of not grabbing everything and all, because I still want him to be the all powerful. That's why I wanted to ask Raki Ben the question, how can I become master of that treasure house of all powers? Like in yesterday's Murli, Baba is saying, you can become master of Brahman. I said, no, Baba, you are master. I would just be with you. And then Baba says, The same doubt I had, and brother asked it in a different way. This is my thing. I would like my father to be the father. I would like him to be all pervasive, all this. I could be just a little close to him. This is what is my thought of mind, why I don't take everything.
Would anybody like to answer Grijaben's question before I give my reflection? Yes, Rachna Ben.
Uh, I just wanted to share my reflection on what Sister just said, that in yesterday's Murli, Baba said that you are the masters of the Brahmand. So how do we have to take this? Uh, Baba actually means that if you can compare it with our own home on earth, we are the owners of that home or the house, wherever that we are staying. We have the key to enter the house, use it, and to exit at our own wish and will. Similarly, Baba wants us to have that same feeling because it is the an eternal truth that Param Dham is my eternal home. So, being a child of my father, just with one thought and a key of my Baba, I can enter Param Dham, stay with Baba, experience anything that I want to, anytime, 24/7, anytime at my wish and will. How much ever that I want to take, there is complete freedom. And then I can come back to do my duties on earth. So this is what Baba is trying to convey, that you are the masters of Brahman. That is, it is your own very home. You can come here and go away at your own wish and will. So there has to be no hesitation. This is your own. Make it your own home. And Baba keeps giving us that invitation also, that I keep inviting you, come, 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 and still your attractions are somewhere in some bondage or some situation that you're facing in your life. So what is more attractive? Is my invitation not attractive for you? All I'm doing is calling you, and the rest I will do. You don't have to do anything. So that is how I take what the meaning of masters of Brahmand. And relating to what we were just having the discussion about, each soul being different. So yes, the internal makeup, even I understand it that way. It was very confusing for me also, and it took me a long time, because Baba keeps encouraging us in all the three relations to be the best, to be passed with honors, in spite of the fact that we know there are only Super 8 and then whatever that figures are, 9,16,108 and all. But that is his way of inspiring us. Each and in Sunday's master class, Saurabh Bhai very clearly said that through that video, Kung Fu Pandas, that we have to be our best, and each one of us are unique. In externally, of course, yes, we are a point of light, but the internal makeup, the qualities, the specialities, they are somewhat different, and our ambitions inside are pure. Desires vary. There is a variation in that, and that is how we come together and make a beautiful story on earth. Om Shanti.
Grijaben, did you get the answer? Or
I got it. Just justify whether what she said and what I understood is same. So I like that concept. So I can enter Paramdam with that key, which Baba said yesterday, Baba, and put in a keychain of constant remembrance. So that may be I should not be number one. I should have the right to enter it because my father's house. But still, one concept is the system. My father is still there. If my father was not there, what treasure store will be there? So I getting an access to the treasure store through the key and the keychain. Maybe that is what I take it as, according to what sister said. I am master of that house, लेकिन कहाँ कब भी जा सकता हूँ, कितना भी ले सकता हूँ. Maybe that concept of what she said made a little sense of me. Why I am number wise? Oh, I lost the key. Oh, I forgot the number, how to enter it, or maybe something. So all this does not allow me access to that place. This is how my churning went when the sister shared. Is it correct?
Krishnaman, would you want to answer that? That was what sister's takeaway is.
Yes, yes, yeah, of course.
All right. Thank you for the wonderful sharings. And in the interest of time, let's take 1 minute of silence to reflect on the points of the Murli today. Om Shanti. Have a wonderful day in the intoxication of who I am, the Master Almighty Authority. I am the master of all the alokik treasures. We shall meet tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Divine Family.
Thank you.